Hey everyone, this is Claire. Welcome to tonight's Vibrational Upgrade Clearings and Activations call. To all of you regular listeners of Dr. Allison's monthly calls, thanks for being here. Welcome to the newer folks here tonight. I know many of you attended the special Zoom event on 11/11, and it was all about releasing more of your master within. It had how-tos and a special gift, which was super cool to continue to work with. There's usually stuff like that in those Zoom events. It's really fun. You can check it out still on our website if you're interested, www.alisonjk.com. It's under About and then Events. So I wanted to know if you're all getting the emails with Dr. Allison's Q&A with Dr. K. There was one that came out on Monday, and you just get these by being on our email list for free. So there was one that came out on Monday, and Dr. Allison shared 3 nuggets for powerful and easier manifesting. And it went way beyond the law of attraction so that you can get busy. Now is the time. We've all had it this year. And with this new potent moon energy from last weekend, with it being the eclipse season again, with retrogrades being completed, this time is all about new beginnings. The planet Jupiter is sextiling right now. It's the planet of success and expansion. It's bringing confidence, optimism, good luck, and good fortune. And it's a time to be filled with positive energy and hope for what's coming. It's a time to pull out of all the conflict, all the wet blanket lockdown energy is getting behind us now. And you survived. It's your time to prosper. So we've just got 3 weeks till Hanukkah. 5 weeks till Christmas, and it's really hard to believe that the holidays are upon us already. And then it's time for 2021, and thank goodness, a fresh new start. And since it's been an extra trying year for all of us with COVID and shutdowns and distancing, job losses in some cases, Dr. Allison, you're going to want to listen to this, has got some absolutely brilliant Black Friday specials coming and other offers so that you can get reoriented onto your path to your highest and best, leaving behind the wet blanket of 2020. And more to come on this later. She's going to fill you in. So Dr. Allison and her mastermind students wrapped up their retreats for the fall. Those involved received special attunements in the vibrational upgrade system, and some of them are already becoming practitioners in vibrational upgrade. So they're launched with new skills, energy, and techniques to the system. And it's really cool that there's going to be more and more of us who are going to be able to share out what she does, what Alison does, and people will be able to get the change that they're looking for mind, body, spirit issues, career issues, money shortages, not being able to follow your intuition, anything really, any kind of change. And many of you are already familiar with Alison's background, and I'll remind you because I wanted to share with you why she does what she does. So after graduating from college, she pursued a master's that she literally wanted to save the planet, and it was in, a career in politics with the goal to improve the environment through conservation. Though her passion was strong, the vast machine at that time was really invested in fossil fuels. And she realized that her mission was best served by focusing on one person at a time. So she left Western medicine and that machine, not medicine, but the machine, and she headed east to study subtle energy while teaching in the public school system internationally. She was doing energy medicine sessions on people there and wellness sessions on the side. And after her 10 years there, she was armed when she came back and with even more magic and energy that she realized at the time. And this formulated the basis of her vibrational upgrade system. She's been practicing as a mind-body energy healer for more than 25 years and has been working in yoga, meditation, qigong, energy medicine, mind-body fitness and nutrition, longevity, and holistic health. She's the only one that I'm aware of who really understands the flow of medicine, energy, medicine, and consciousness, and is known by her peers as a thought leader. She's a total pioneer. As I mentioned before, She spent a decade in Asia studying subtle energy. That allowed her to become an expert in the field. She is a specialist in holistic health. She has a PhD as a holistic life coach and a certification as a behavioral change specialist. She's considered to be one of the leading experts in her field, and even more specifically on using the chakra system as the roadmap for thriving in the mind, body, and spirit while applying it in a unique way. So Dr. Alison's background set her up to be able to share the stage and collaborate with thought leaders like Bruce Lipton, David Wolfe, Joe Vitale, Krishna Das, Bob Proctor, Reverend Michael Beckwith, Greg Braden, David Wilcox, and Dr. Mercola. In addition to her vast collaborative network, Dr. Alison is internationally recognized and known as a best-selling author, and she's got several books. Her first was What If There's Nothing Wrong? She next wrote Vibrational Upgrade, A Conspiracy for Your Bliss, Easing Humanity's Evolutionary Transition. That lovely gem was endorsed by Yogi Amrit Desai. He founded Kripalu, that yoga institute in the Berkshires originally, and he's a client. And her most recent #1 internationally smashing bestseller is Reasonable Dragons. Keep your ears perked on this one. It's how to activate the field of possibilities where logical magic is the new normal. That one was endorsed by both Proctor and Joe Vitale. So this one's available via Audible or in book form. I totally recommend this brilliant book as a download for everyone. Or just read it if that's your preference. It's amazing, and you're going to want to do that very soon. So if it's not clear from what I've told you about Dr. Alison's experience, her lifelong pursuit of healing, energy medicine, and helping others achieve their highest potential, then just sit back and absorb from this call. So tonight's call is bound to be amazing. They always are. Dr. Alison's been holding these monthly calls for years now, probably 10. You can correct me, Dr. Alison. I'm not sure how long it's been, but 9 years, 10 years. She started these as a way to connect with and to serve humanity in its awakening, which is all you know. It's really challenging, this year particularly. So Dr. Alison continues the work that she does with you all as her service to humanity. She's completely passionate and dedicated to her mission and loves every minute of working with the people who come into her programs. Her greatest joy comes from getting another person free. So I think I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Alison, and give a little bit of the intro that you were telling me about earlier. I'm really excited for you to share with everyone what's coming up.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi.
Thank you, sister. You did a lovely job on this earlier than usual end of the month call. Thanks, sister. I liked your little blurb, too, about the Reasonable Dragons Audible format, because that's what we're moving into. I'm really, really, really super thrilled, especially for those of you who are new and who haven't been around for a while, but I'm as equally thrilled to have those of you who have been following me for years and are loyal folks. I see so many of your names. I don't want to name just one or two because then that's not fair to those who I don't name. But just your respect, your trust, your loyalty. I write that in my gratitude journal with my daily entries at least 3 times a week. Probably it was more like every day, where I'm thankful for you all, for your trust, your respect, your loyalty. And, you know, it is well deserved here. So I'm grateful for this collaborative teamwork here with some of you who know what I'm up to. And those of you who are new, welcome, 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 because I'm getting ready to announce that we have our Black Friday sale that's finally going live. And when I say finally, I mean I've been going back and forth with my tech support and team to get this ready to announce to you all tonight, filling up all of my time in the last 2 days in particular, but for the last 2 weeks. So we have a Black Friday sale happening. And for those of you especially who have been waiting to order, I know some of you have talked to my team, whether it's Claire or it's myself or or Larissa, my VA, or someone else on my team about the Chakra series. Guess what? Black Friday sale is 50, half off everything in the store. Woohoo! Can I hear a woohoo out there? Okay, that could have been more exciting, but thanks for those of you who did the woo. So what's happening out there? It's kind of you guys are just sitting back in receiving mode, huh? No. I apologize this month, and Claire, it has been since I've been back from Asia. I've been doing these. They used to be more impromptu calls, and then they became firmly established as the last Thursday of every month. I think in my 8th year, but I've been doing this since I got back. So for 10 years now, got back from that decade in Asia. So you guys are going to want to press star 2 so that I can come in. One of the things I have, I don't normally go by this. Claire doesn't normally mention this, but I have a PhD as a holistic life coach, and I don't call myself a coach because I consider the energy medicine, the 5 different modalities that I have decades of working with and then creating vibration upgrade system as a combination of energy medicine, clearings and activations. And then the whole other part of me is a meditator and meditation teacher for decades, combining the energy medicine, clearings and activations with coaching for mindfulness to actually get behavioral change. I have the specialist certification in behavioral change along with my personal trainer certification in mind body fitness. And so there's a lot going on behind the scenes when I do a clearing. Let me give you another example. Those of you who are on my YouTube channel, you may have seen this in, I believe it was the previous question and answer video I did last week. Every week there's a new video added. Typically, right now we're in a series of Q&A with Dr. A, questions and answers with a female spiritual teacher. And I was talking about how there is this need to not just be doing this quote-unquote spiritual work where you do clearings and activations, or you listen to guided visualizations and you interact with your archangels, or you interact with ascended masters, but where it's about actually bringing the changes that happen internally, understanding how that then creates what shows up in your field externally, and then working within internal changes, clearings on blocks at an unconscious or subconscious or even the conscious mind level, coupled then with intuitive, holistic life coaching, primarily geared towards mindfulness. So as the clearings cut the mind-body connection, as I talk about in my first book, What If There's Nothing Wrong, when that mind-body connection is cut, so you're not triggered quite so much like some of you may be if some of you are going to family gatherings, if you live in the States for Thanksgiving. So those triggers aren't so reflective, reactive, and automatic, but these clearings cut what's known as the mind-body connection so that you have more space between trigger and typical reaction so that you don't get triggered, and so that you have increasing space to then observe with mindfulness how you're used to being in that trigger, and then being able to make a new choice in the moment now. You guys up for some of that?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
Yes.
You're so cute. Let's do it. So one of the areas I want to focus on tonight is abundance. My last session of the day had a bunny sit by munching grass all throughout the session, and it actually, instead of like went further away as I got more and more excited with this client, I would have expected the bunny to go a little bit further away, and it wasn't. It came closer. And this new moon is moving stuff forward that has been potentially stagnant into new projects getting created, old projects having movement and abundance and optimism. And so I did some of those clearings on the new moon sacred activations for those of you in Activate Your Magic. And I ended up singing at the end of that activation. I've gotten so much fun feedback about the new moon sacred activations that were just posted on Sunday, actually Saturday, for Sunday's new moon. So here we are together under this new moon, under the auspices of being able to further align you with abundance. And so I will get to that in just a minute, infertility. But I want to continue to announce the Black Friday specials, because it's been the year that it's been. And I feel like I want to help you take as much advantage as possible of what's coming. We have eclipse season starting under this moon, this new moon that we're just starting to now be able to see visibly within the last 2 nights. The little crescent sliver is going to have an eclipse at the full moon. And then the next moon is also going to have an eclipse. So we're back in eclipse season. And that's how we end the year, this brilliant year. The eclipses. It's so appropriate. Do you know that the ancients used to hide from eclipses? They were like big, huge, significant things. And all the royalty throughout history, back to the Egyptians, all and Queen Elizabeth and Henry VIII, and they all used to have, like King Louis's mom had Nostradamus. They all had astrologers or intuitives to predict and look at the stars. Is this a good time to launch war? Is this a good time to marry? Is this a good time to blah, blah, blah? So they did that so much in alignment with the stars, you know, and when eclipses were happening, it was like dastardly. They didn't totally understand the eclipses. So let's make really great use of eclipses, which are meant to eclipse or complete something, yeah, as we complete this new year and set ourselves up for what's coming in 2021. Because according to trusted astrologer friends of mine and professionals, the rubber hits the road in 2021. We will have some relief. And I'll talk about that more in next month's free monthly call. I was able to arrange it so that I don't take next month off from the free monthly call because it lands on New Year's Eve. Just like we're doing tonight, we're moving it back a week so that it's the week before New Year's Eve, in between Christmas and New Year's, I believe. No, I think we moved it back to a Wednesday night. Anyway, I'll announce that. You know what? Why don't I just do it now? I'll look at my calendar because next month, both Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are on Thursdays. So what we have set up for the free monthly call so I can get more of this information to you about and set you up for the New Year's is on 30th Wednesday. So it's actually going to be on the Wednesday before New Year's Eve, the night before New Year's Eve. But what's coming in 2021 is massive with the rubber hitting the road. So all things considered, I said, okay, screw it. Forget this little measly 15% off. Let's give them 50% off, half off everything in the store. And so I know that my signature product is the Chakra Attunement audio series. And many of you have been writing in as I started this announcement of the Black Friday sale, asking about the Chakra Attunement audio series. People have been using that for years. It's still highly alive, highly effective. And the suggestion is always to get the entire series because when you have every chakra open, then the flow is ignited. And that flow is where the creativity comes in on, where the abundance comes in on, where the love comes in on, where the support, the synchronicities. So the overall goal, again, this is in part why my signature program is called Magic, Manifestation, and Money Flow, because everything comes in on that flow. So you always want to go for all of the chakras. And so to be able to encourage you to do that, half off of that product too. And then the second biggest selling product in the store is Stop Stopping Yourself. And those are the most typical blocks people use to sabotage or to not move forward or to procrastinate or to not believe they're worthy of having their dreams so they don't go for it. Just all the blocks where you just stay in your status quo. These are the most typical blocks that I've seen people have throughout the years of doing this work in that product, and people rave about that one too. So that's my second recommendation, Stop Stopping Yourself. But then that's also 50% off. Everything in the store, though, is 50% off, and it's live now. There's also a whole other way to get the chakras to you. And Claire talked about Reasonable Dragons, the Audible version, and I recorded that in a sound studio next to Glastonbury when I was there in the physical last retreat. The two this year in May and October, Beltane and Samhain, have been virtual. So in Samhain 2019, that was when I recorded it, and you can feel it. I had just completed the retreats, and it's high. So it's like one long transmission. And so what we're doing is, I know how so many of you in this universe of the spiritual path love to turn people on to other, I don't call myself self-help. I had to fight with Hay House with my first book to not get What If There's Nothing Wrong, my first book, labeled as a self-help genre. No, it's new thought. It's way beyond self-help. And so the new thought genre, I'm saying here, but in the self-help field, people love to pass on books to each other, right? And you love to share something that works for you with the loved ones who you see struggling. So I want to encourage that, especially the Audible version. And so how we're doing that is not only when you buy, so we've had this bonus going on since the release of Reasonable Dragons in August of 2019. And it's still staying high up on the list in Amazon. I mean, it's really performing well, staying there, like even after it hit the #1 international bestseller. So there is a lot of good feedback about the book, and I'm always interested in that because, I write something, I release it, and I'm always interested in the feedback about it. So it's been really sweet to see people who aren't in my field or are working with me in any of my programs, how the book just lands in their lap and helps them understand. One woman said, I have not understood how relying, and please keep in mind, I'm not talking about what you see in the mainstream media about what's been going on within the U.S. government at all when I say this. But how do we merge science with religion when people who are religious feel like they don't, that people who are doing the spiritual thing, quote unquote, are so different and on such a different path? Or how do we merge science with spirituality? Because that's the rebalancing that we're going into with this new paradigm, as well as the material and the spiritual balancing. So one of the women said, I hadn't understood how I was keeping myself held back by this over-reliance on science and not listening to myself. And I'm really grateful for that. It was exactly what she needed at the time. And there's been a couple of people, more than a couple of people who have said, this is exactly what I needed at exactly the right time. So it's good Reasonable Dragons for beginners, intermediate, and even advanced people, because it's a very complete, cohesive picture of the path of how you get from where you're creating out of need because of struggling to getting out in front of your needs to creating from your desires and being able to engage that field of unlimited possibilities where reasonable magic is the new norm, as Claire said when she said, get ready for this. So it's a very complete, comprehensive, the path all the way through. And the Audible form is more like a big, long transmission. So what we're doing is to encourage you guys to give them as gifts or to get yourself the Audible copy if you haven't gotten it yet, or to get yourself your first copy if you haven't gotten it yet. If you buy one, you still get 1 month free of Activate Your Magic membership. And the Activate Your Magic membership is really bloody vibrant. You get new moon sacred activations, and you get full moon sacred activations, and you get an hour-long group clearing call where you're sitting on the call muted, and I'm just pounding out clearing after clearing after clearing. I've done that call for 10 years. It used to be weekly, and it's just so much clearing done in an hour. It was too much for me. So I went down to every other week, and now it's down to 1 week a month. And that's a part of Activate Your Magic. And then the Zoom event each month that you see announced typically are also included in the Activate Your Magic membership. So you get 1 month of that for free. And those new moon and full moon sacred activations, y'all, I have a shit ton of fun with, frankly. So I changed up what Activate Your Magic was at the beginning of 2020 as the COVID started, because I saw the need for extra support at a lower price. And it's complete over delivery, and it's really fun. And people are using that to sustain a higher vibration or to start to get out of their own way. At every level, people are using Activate Your Magic. It's appropriate for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So you get a month of that for free when you buy one copy, and then you get a chakra MP3 of the Chakra Attunement audio series of your choice, also for free, when you buy one Reasonable Dragons book. When you buy 2 Reasonable Dragons books, you get 1 free month of Activate Your Magic and then 2 chakra attunements, MP3s of your choice. And let me say this too, if you guys are into healing and you want to learn more about the chakras, each chakra attunement audio MP3 in the series has track 1, which explains how the blocks show up. Like if your throat chakra is blocked, you typically feel like you have less choice. You feel more limited. You feel really tentative about making new choices. You're not comfortable taking risks. Your neck is tight. You may chronically clear your throat. You may have thyroid issues. If you feel unheard, if you feel like you're not listened to, if you tell little white lies, if you have a hard time speaking up for yourself, if you have a hard time speaking up for your desires. So at the fifth chakra, I, in my second book, had come to understand by that point, is the second power center of the overall chakra system, whereas traditionally, historically, the solar plexus, the third chakra, has always been known as the power center. But starting with these awakening times from 2012 to 2032, around 2016, I started to become aware of the fifth chakra's importance, and then what I have come to understand as the co-creators channel, what the heart chakra and the throat chakra together help us to do in these new times. And there are tools that are needed. So if you're still struggling a lot in these new times, you got to really upgrade your system in order to be more online with the vibrational backdrop we're living in and the requisite skills that are needed to thrive in this new era with these new dynamics. And again, I don't mean what you necessarily see in mainstream media about the politics. That's symptomatic of a bigger healing crisis as the old paradigm continues to completely crumble and the new one starts to get increasingly physicalized, which we'll see much more of in 2021. This is really the change year, the pivotal year, as you've been seeing me say in a lot of emails. So you could, if you buy 2 copies of Reasonable Dragons, focus on the third and the fifth chakra, because you get 2 chakras when you buy 2 copies. And on those tracks, the track 1 is the instruction of how the blocks show up. So if you're wanting to learn more about the chakras, the first track is a great way, and it's been known for a long time that instead amongst peers that I have a very different take on the chakra system, in great part because I'm a yoga teacher and personal trainer. So it's more about embodiment and the embodiment of change here in your body, you guys, in the 3D world. So your physical life, your relationships, your money flows, your work life, your career, your body's health and wellness, all of your sleep, all of that shows up differently, not just for your meditations or your guided visualizations or your prayer time, but so that these more spiritual activities are used to infuse your mind, body, spirit system and then create the external world from the internal world, because energy trumps matter. Traditional Chinese medicine, where qi flows, blood follows. Where energy goes, that means matter follows. So by doing the internal work in the way that I've learned to create vibration upgrade system and gear it towards, that's the way we change the external world. So there's no more heavy lifting. There's no more forcing or pushing or having to figure it out or struggling. There's so much more ease that's available. And this is what I mean in great part when I say learning, getting your system upgraded and learning the new skills for the times now that we're in and appropriate to the times now that we're in. So now we're going up to 3 copies. If you buy 3 copies of Reasonable Dragons, you then get a free month of Activate Your Magic and then 3 chakra MP3s. And I think that is overall a gift of like $250, if I remember correctly, or $244. So really, I don't remember the Reasonable Dragons cost. I think it's $14.99. So if you look at that, $14.99 times 3, and you get $244 worth of stuff that are the highest demand products in my shop. Hey, look at there. So those are the Black Friday sales. And you're getting an email sent out to the list tomorrow if that was confusing to you. If you want to hop on it right now, you can go to reasonabledragons.com or vibrationalupgrade.com. And then, I don't even remember, go to the shop. I believe that's one of the tabs on my site, the shop itself. Yeah, it is. It's the second tab over. Go to the shop, and then that's where you'll see how you can get stuff for 50% off. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that's exciting, and I'm excited to have you guys take as much advantage of that as possible to really get yourselves shifted. And I want to let you know, too, some of you who, last month's call, I did this massive focused work on a person who was hesitant about taking any steps to move forward in her life. And my energy can challenge people because I'm designed to actually get changes. And so you're on this call for a reason. Take this opportunity with the 50% off to get your toe more than just in the big toe in the pool. And let yourself buy the chakra series or some of the Reasonable Dragons with 1 or 2 chakras. If you're going to go for 3, by the way, I would go for 1, 3, and 5. That's like the most across the board suggestion. So you're grounded for increased embodiment. There's less issues with rejection. Then you have more confidence and empowerment. And then you have more empowerment to make the choices that you actually want to be making for yourself. So that was 1, 3, and 5. That's a typical arrangement. And I'm not going to go any further into that because this is getting boring for you too, probably. So let's go ahead and go into a clearing for you all for abundance. And I know that what I was saying is I know that some of you may feel a little bit uneasy because that's the ego mind sensing the actual change that is available when you work with me. And I mean, like, your life changes in the places you wanted to change and then surprising improvements where you didn't even expect changes. It's not that big of a deal. Sometimes people's ego minds make change such a big deal. But there is some sense at times, relatively frequently, of intimidation. So if you've been intimidated about getting on the Open the Drawbridge call because your ego mind's been just causing you to hesitate, start with one of the products. Whatever you do, just start. Just take some action, please, on your behalf, because you're here for a reason, and the status quo isn't going to hack it anymore. And in fact, what I sense is that if we choose comfort in status quo, we're setting ourselves up for struggle. We are meant to be flowing. We are meant to be changing. And we are meant to end our marriage with the struggle paradigm. So anything and everything that is causing you to in any way create or be tethered to struggle and causing that to continue to perpetuate, would you be willing to burn it all up with the flames of transmutation?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. 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 Alison. Yes.
Yes. Yes. You guys, if you say yes out loud, it invites the energy to you more.
Yes.
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 Great. Okay, so I'm going to get silent for a moment and do the invocation. So any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas that in any way cause you to stay tethered to struggle or perpetuate struggle in your life, all of that's getting burned out. And again, any and all karma as appropriate. Any and all contracts, oaths, vows, swearings across all lifetimes and timelines, including but not limited to vows of austerity, any and all conclusions, beliefs, judgments, evaluations at any level of consciousness, all conditioning, any and all imprints from your parents, and imprints from your parents' parents in lineage that are in any way causing you to be tethered to struggle, to create struggle, to perpetuate struggle, to continue to be attuned to struggle over ease and grace, burning it all up now with the flames of transmutation. Some of you may feel your shoulders dropping. Some of you may feel tingling, goosebumps, itchiness, yawning, heat. There might be slight pain in various parts of the body as blocks get opened and more chi is able to flow. Okay, what's coming up right now is what wants to get included and is getting burned up is self-rejection. Not even where you take it outside of yourself and expect rejection or fear rejection. But where you're busy rejecting yourself and your dreams and your joyous self, your inner child. And that perpetuates struggle because you're not letting yourself go with the flow of change or grow. Ooh, that just hit a lot of you. You might want to inhale and exhale to let more energy release and clear. I'm being shown the back of like noise in your environment, whether it's the news and the old paradigm perpetuated out there that you're hearing, the suffering and the struggling in this year of increased suffering and struggling to like a fever, a homeopathic response in natural healing is to have it peak before it breaks. Where your ears have been hearing struggle more this year, and so those parts of you attached or afraid or having any connection to struggle have been activated, burning all of that up with the flames of transmutation. Struggle with money, where it seems like it's about money, but it's really just you perpetuating struggle and suffering from other beliefs and blocks. And you do it with money to yourself. All of that would love to get burned up. And all of the places where you're not allowing yourself to fully live from the recognition of everything in your life, for the most part, about 90% at least, results from your choice and how much power you have in your choice. And where you refuse to see that, so you continue to make choices that create and perpetuate struggle. You know, all of those sayings that your parents and grandparents have in the family. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Money goes out as fast as it comes in. The luck of the Irish, meaning bad luck, all of that. Those kinds of superstitions and family sayings. Murphy's Law. All of that imprinting from the older generations. And the struggle paradigm was much more relevant. Yes. There's something about conditioning, like where, not you, or maybe you're just starting to separate from this, but the masses are still believing that they're a victim to what's going on outside of them, and there's no power to change it. Again, where you're not recognizing your power to make new choices and do clearings on yourself so that you can be empowered to see have new perspective, see new possibilities, and the courage to choose those. All of that which is blocking that. So you stay tethered to struggle, very much from what's happening around you, from the society, the masses, the trance of the masses that would love to also be further burned up out of your field. I'm going to activate the upgrade now while I ask that continue to run as appropriate for each beloved on the call now live, as well as listening to the replay. So please keep running the clearing as appropriate while I activate the upgrade now. Spending all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and inherent talents within you. Sending all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment with your at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to be realized, and for your divine destiny to become physically actualized. Activating the upgrade now. Grace and ease and flow, baby. Okay, so now I could just say that in a social media meme. Ease and grace and flow, baby. And it's easier said than done. And then I see people make themselves feel bad and wrong. Why can't I manifest this? Why did this show up in my field? What must I be thinking or believing to make this show up in my field? What did I do wrong that this hasn't manifested yet? What did I do wrong that this showed up? Right? It's back of the house consciousness, subconscious, like traumas. Our ego mind is there to keep us safe, protect us. And when we have traumas, it's too big. We can't feel it consciously. So it gets shot right back down into the subconscious. And then the unconsciousness of different causes. I'm not going to go into it now, but you can get that from Reasonable Dragons. I go into it in great depth. But those getting cleared allow you to listen to social media memes and actually be able to implement those cool cliches almost at this point. Stay focused on what you desire. Well, that's easier when you have a lot more of the old blocks cleared out that perpetuate the negative, or where you're focused on struggle, right? Or where you're where the part of you running the belief in the program that you're not worthy to have that kind of a life. So just keep yourself held back and procrastinate. Don't take those steps. Don't make those new choices. So there's all these clearings that I have seen need to happen in order for people to be able to actually do what you hear so many other, I want to say, people out there in the spiritual field saying to do. And instead of making yourself feel bad and wrong that you haven't been able to get there yet or do that yet, just recognize that maybe you've been, frankly, working with someone who hasn't been able to do much more than just talk and intellectually coach and not get to those clearings. My first major was psychology for a couple of different reasons, which those of you who've been around for a while know. I left that major after 3 semesters. And one of them was the recognition of talk therapy, what Freud brought in, and how that just reinforces the storyline. So energy functions as a wave. There's full potential. When we have a thought that repeats, not just like a 10-second thought that's random, but a repetitive thought or a strong emotional component to the thought, an intensity, let's say, that collapses the wave, the potential, into a particle or matter, into a thing. Yeah. There's unlimited potential that we live within all the time. And the more that we can live in curiosity and childlike wonder, the more possibilities we allow in. The more we run around acting like we know everything, the more our ego mind wants us to be smart, the more we collapse the potential into something solid and real. This is such changing times. It's so much more appropriate and effective to be living with childlike curiosity and wonder and asking questions rather than with a ton of conclusions. And I've seen through this work that many of these conclusions are at an unconscious and subconscious level from when we were brought up, how we learned the world worked, our conditioning. And so it's getting at those things that you don't even know, which is why working with someone else who can see these things helps propel your progress so much quicker. Because you can go at it alone for a long time and get some results and get frustrated along the way. And what I want to do is save you that time and that frustration and that despondency. And what I really love to do is take somebody who's already ready and willing to engage in the possibilities and just go and fly. That's my fun zone. That's my genius zone. So let's activate the potential for more abundance to flow in your lives. You guys want to do that?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. So anything and everything that is blocking the flow of abundance from way more robustly entering into your field, into your life, are you willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So any and all karma as appropriate, including but not limited to financial karma, it is in any way blocking the flows of abundance from flowing much more robustly. Abundance, financial abundance, flowing much more robustly in your life. We're burning all of that karma up with the flames of transmutation. Any and all contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises, including but not limited to vows of poverty, across all lifetimes and timelines. All free-floating thoughts and traumas. All imprints from your parents. Imprints from your parents' parents, lineage. Any and all conditioning from the trance of the masses. And any and all conclusions or judgments or beliefs at any level of consciousness you have that are in any way blocking abundance from flowing into your life and blocking the flow of abundance from more resplendently, robustly being omnipresent as your life condition, burning it all up with the flames of transmutation. Not worthy, not deserving. I can't. It's bad to want money. I'd be greedy. like us don't have that kind of money. I need to stay where I'm at so I don't disrespect my parents. To live in that kind of abundance requires too much hard work. I don't want to work that hard. If I have more abundance, I'll owe more in taxes. I don't want that. So let's just stay the same. Money can't buy you happiness. I'm not spiritual if I have wealth or abundance. It's not spiritual to want more money. I'm greedy if I want more money. I'm closer to God, the less materialism I engaged in. Something along those lines. I don't have to do anything except listen to his clearings. Money will just magically flow to me. I'm actually afraid to have more money. I may not recognize myself. I'll lose people who I care about if I have more money and live at that new level. I just want to be taken care of. I'm impotent. This will never change. I'm too old. I'm not the right gender. I don't have enough skills. I don't have enough training. I don't have enough education. I'm not good enough. Money hates me. I'm bad with money. It's never enough. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. You guys may want to inhale and exhale. It's a whole load of energy clearing. I'm going to activate the upgrade now while I ask that energy still runs as appropriate for each beloved listener's highest and best. Those who are listening live now or and to the recording later. Activating the upgrade now, so as the Toad of Fortune is singing right now, just like the Chinese sculptures with coins in their mouths at the entrance of every Chinese home to bring in good fortune. I don't know if you heard the Toad. Activating the upgrade now. There he is. Sending all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and latent talents within you, or inherent talents, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment with your at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to be realized, and for your divine destiny to become physically actualized. Activating the upgrade now. Nice. Okay, so again, you're pressing *4 if you'd like some one-on-one work. And again, I apologize. I don't know what's happened with the webcast, the question and answer webcast, but for months now, even after having my team go at questions with Instant Teleseminar, we can't get the questions out of there. So if you want to ask a question, you are going to want to be on the phone line. It sucks because there is the ability to have so many questions put in. And they checked and they said there was nothing wrong. So perhaps none of you have been submitting questions. So I'm going to take a live caller now. Let me just tune in and see who's going to contribute the most to everyone on the call. I'm going to Elk Grove, Illinois. I don't have a name here. It's you. Hello. Person
it's me again.
It's you. Who's this?
It's Susie.
Hi, Susie. I noticed that you have remained absent. How can I serve you tonight?
I was on the Zoom call.
Yes, you were.
But I was the one person who had not ever used Zoom before.
So how can I serve you tonight, my dear? As you get this free service again. Look at you.
Well, I did sign up for Activate Your Magic.
Did you?
And I did.
Good girl.
But then I wasn't sure if the question I submitted tonight was, how do you know if you're ready or it's time to move into magic, manifestation, and money flow?
I'm tuning in to listen to the best intuitive response to give you.
Okay.
That's why I'm silent. I don't want to just whip off an answer from my mind. What happens, Susie, when I say to you, do you feel like you'll just know?
The answer to that question?
Yeah, like you'll just know the timing when it's time. Do you believe that?
Oh, absolutely. But I wonder if, because when I talked to you last time, and you mentioned some things that you had in mind for me and how you would hold me accountable, but then there really isn't any way to sign up for the Magic Manifestation and Money Flow. But I had been on the Open the Drawbridge call with Claire, and
here, let me sort this out.
Okay.
Yeah, let me save you time, and everybody else's time too on the call. So the Magic Manifestation and Money Flow 3-month signature program is by invite only. I don't like to use the phrase I control, but I do as a former classroom teacher, as well as knowing the safe harbor people need with this kind of clearing work. We get really vulnerable when we're doing this kind of clearing work. And so if it has to be kind of a contained group of people. And then the mastermind out of that, which I didn't even talk to you about, is also specifically by invite only. So there is no place that I make available for people to just sign up and become a member of such an intimate group, because I need to create that kind of environment where you're going to feel free to be able to speak up for yourself with the most intimate, ugly details, man. I mean, the stuff that comes out, whether it's posted in the closed Facebook group or it's on the call. So you could get back on it.
You had kind of invited me to do that when we were on the call, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. So I just joined them, Activate the Magic.
So what some people do who are in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow from Activate Your Magic is they actually stay in Activate Your Magic. There's no overlap between yeah, they're totally separate programs, and they're really robust together, frankly. But I'm just checking myself again and again here, third time. There's no overlap. None of this stuff we do, the sacred new moon or sacred full moon activations, the Zoom event, or that hour-long group clearings call, none of that. Were you on the one this Tuesday night?
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, no, I wasn't on it live, but I did re-listen to it.
Okay, you got the replay. Okay. So
yeah.
None of that is included in the 3M. The 3M is a much more robust program. There's modules, there's weekly videos, the chakra series is included in that. There's every other week calls. There's tons of files with free gifts all around money and abundance. I think at this point 14 free gifts of hour-long clearings for money blocks and abundance blocks. And then there's one recording not about money, but about speaking up more for yourself and speaking up for your desires to strengthen that fifth chakra, so central to choice. So it's like a totally robust curriculum and program.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this kind of interaction with me, Susie. And Activate Your Magic, it's much more limited, this kind of access to being able to personally interact with me. Part of the whole thing in 3M is that's when you elevate to this kind of individualized work. So I was inviting you into 3M so you could stay in AIM, hop on and open the drawbridge call, schedule another one.
Okay.
Or Susie, realistically, if you have what you could do too, because these slots fill up so quickly, to just get you in if you wanted to. You have Claire emailed you, right? You have her personal email?
Yes.
Just email her and tell her you want to join, and she'll send you the link and she'll bring you in.
Okay.
Oh, Susie, I'm wicked happy to hear that. Good. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I welcome you into and do it as soon as possible because I'm on fire, and it's time. I mean, this is the second time in a row I called on you. That's crazy.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Jesus. All right, so I'm going to hang up now because I feel like
okay.
You've satisfied your question. I'm going to give it to somebody else.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my honor. Good job, girl. I'm sorry I said you've been silent. I'm really, 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 really proud of you for taking action steps. You have no idea how much that thrills me.
Thank you.
Great. Well done. Woohoo! So you just saw our model. Those of you who were on last month's free call and this month's free call, the clearings worked. Look at her. She took action on her behalf, and you sounded lighter, Susie. You really did. Yay, you guys see, this is my biggest joy. All right, there's somebody coming in from Michigan. Michigan's had a hell of a year. We have had more people on Open the Drawbridge calls, and I have many masterminders and even 3Mers in from Michigan. You guys have been having a hell of a year. So I'm going to call on the person from Holly, Michigan, and then the name is showing up as April. April? It's you?
How do I unmute? Am I unmuted?
You are now,
okay.
April. Hi.
Hi. So one of the signs that I know that, because there's so many numerous energy workers out there, and one of the signs that I know that the person actually is able to work with my energy field is I yawn like crazy. So with you, I've been listening to you for, I don't even know how I found you, a couple months, and every time I listen to you, I just start yawning, which is readjusting.
Your consciousness.
Yeah. So that's how I know that you are the one per se.
Thanks,
so
April.
my problem is that the last 2 years I've been being pushed to become I am a professional counselor in Michigan, and I do substance abuse, which we are having a very rough time. But I've been being pushed to become a speaker, a spiritual teacher. I'm already a psychic medium, an energy worker. And I'm aware that I have a block in my throat and in my heart chakra. And I can't seem to clear them. I can't seem to talk for a living. Can't make videos.
Yeah, you're scared.
So I'm just going to let you read into me and tell me what. I'm tired of being stuck.
Good girl. That's when people find me. So one quick thing. My whole mission coming back from the decade in Asia has been to professionalize the field of energy medicine. The mission, you can see it in my first book, What If There's Nothing Wrong, which I wrote over there my last year in Asia. It's like a text. It's 416 bloody pages published through Hay House. What if there's nothing wrong? And in it, I'm talking about how there's so much more suffering in the West because we don't pay attention to the internal, to our energy and consciousness. So my gig is about professionalizing the field. So I don't allow this, and I don't usually talk of this. I don't allow, because everything's choice. Surrender. Everything's choice. Your choice to be on this call and press star 2. It's all choice. So it's really rare for me to say this, but I don't allow anyone of my students to refer to energy medicine any longer as energy work, because that downgrades the professionalism of it. It makes it feel like it's play. You know what I mean? Even though it's the word work.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how you're.
I'm new. I'm new. I'm not new. It's a new thought. It's a new concept to call it energy medicine. So you wouldn't know until like I say that to you. So no worries. It's not a correction. It's just I'm speaking that out to activate it further, so that it's understood to be more of a profession. Because there's a lot like my mastermind level. I'm training people and certifying people in the vibrational upgrade system. And there's a lot of play that goes on where people give away free readings. I even have seen people go up to people in markets and just say, I'm seeing, like just give a random undesired reading. And so there's this whole entrenchment of the field that it's just not taken as a profession. And I'm all about professionalizing it. That's why I have in part so many degrees and certifications and went to Asia for a decade. So I come to the field of energy medicine and working with one's intuitive capacities as a profession and as something that is of full service to others and needs to be paid attention to in order to have less suffering in the West, including in Michigan this year. There wouldn't be quite so much anger if there were more self-management and more I just heard you yawn. Yeah?
With you, it's only certain, and that's how I know, because it's so soaked. The market is so soaked right now with everybody does readings, everybody does, you know, all this healing, but you have to really know your stuff, and that's when I listen to you, I know that you know it. But I do feel that you're correct that energy is absolutely 100% medicine.
Totally. Well said.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm saying this in part because it's activating, or it's acting as a transmission to activate within you, kind of getting your backbone more straight with understanding you have gifts and to take them seriously, not like you're serious with a frown, that kind of serious, but to give them the regard that they're due and recognize the help that supporting a counselor background in training and education with this kind of intuitive inform is exactly what's needed right now. Okay. So now when I said you're scared, it came out immediately. And sure, there's fear with everybody, and that's an obvious thing. But what I get from you is it's almost like a terror. It's almost like when it comes to you speaking, April, it's like you go out of your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I actually had a childhood trauma that I kind of forgot, and I'm actually like the hero in my family that came up around speaking. So that does make sense.
What do you mean that you're the hero in your family that came up? The trauma was around speaking?
As far as the hero, like I'm one of the only women to go to college. I'm the generation breaker of abuse. But then I had my childhood trauma came up where I watched my brother be abused and I didn't say anything.
Okay, but so that is likely part of the terror, but it's not. I'm not getting that. That's all. This is so bloody common that I almost feel like it's trite to say it. So let me just go and double check my intuition. I mean, it's just spitting out, so I know to trust it, but I'm hesitating saying it because it sounds so trite. But what I find over and over and over and over and over again is the people who work with me in my signature program, so that I'm invested in them at the magic manifestation and money flow level, and then even at particularly at the mastermind level, when they have natural capacities like you're speaking about, April, there is this past life experience, usually multiple, where you have spoken truth to power, whether that's included something you're seeing as an oracle or a shaman or a medicine woman or a goddess or in a coven or a witch or that got hung or whatever it is. So you could have been Galileo speaking truth about, or Copernicus. It doesn't matter, but there's some shutdown to your life from speaking that gets carried in your cellular matrix into the next incarnation until it gets cleared. And I know that since around 2012, I have had such a steady influx of people with this, and it's typically women so that it's almost as if when you go to speak, there's a terror because of that trauma not yet having been cleared. These traumas, I'm pluralizing them because it's not just that childhood one, but that's why that happened in your childhood, carried over from the past lives in its origination. And then it was reinforced in, I'm hearing like 3 to 4, which is kind of higher than normal.
Yeah, what you're saying is perfectly resonating. That's why I'm chuckling.
Okay. I couldn't hear the chuckling, though, so thank you for telling me you were chuckling and letting me know how it's feeling within you. So it's kind of a hand-in-hand thing. As we help you recognize and bring forward more, this is the kind of work that I love to do. One of the things I love to do is we bring forward more recognition of your own natural skills and capacities and even hone them further. That will help strengthen your need to get over this, which will help as we simultaneously clear out that trauma. It's really advanced work to do on a free monthly call. I can feel some people going, oh yeah, she's going to clear this, woohoo. But I have to be really precarious, because if I do this on a free monthly call and you don't come back, it's out of, when I say you don't come back, I mean when I clear traumas of this nature, there's a healing response that can show up in many different ways, and the person can become uncomfortable. And typically, I don't like to do this kind of in-depth trauma work without having it contained, so I can get back to you and help you ease and get more comfortable and bring in the new. Because if I just, it's a kind of a cut and run, and it's not as appropriate for you for the way that these kinds of clearings evolve after the initial clearing is done. However, I feel like you can handle it, and I just feel enough hearts out there asking for me to do something around this. So let me listen to the best way I can frame this for in a clearing for you, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So what seems to be, I'm going because I really want to get at the anytime you've been killed or hung or blah, 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 burned to the stake, but it's not allowing me to go there. What I can do is trauma around speaking up. So we can start at that kind of more, I want to say, safer level. Does that make sense to you, April?
Yeah, this is all resonating in things that I have recently experienced in meditations myself. So it's kind of like, I don't know, another wake-up call, like, hello, where you've already told you this. But, you know, I need the right teacher, so, and apparently you are it.
Thanks. I'm honored. And I look forward to being able to do more with you. But let's just put that on. So how to do that is follow the link for an Open the Drawbridge call and hop on one of those and tell them you're who worked with me on the free monthly call, and they'll recognize it right away, and then they can move forward in the conversation with you with how to move this forward as the right teacher for you. That's later. Yeah. Now, yeah. When I say later, that can be tomorrow. I just don't mean it's right now. Yeah. Okay, so this is for all of you out there, both live listeners as well as those of you who are going to be listening to this in recording form, and those of you who do both. So any and all terror or fright that you have when it comes to speaking up for yourself or speaking publicly, would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful, y'all. April, look at what you are helping to catalyze. Thank you. So give me just a moment to invoke. April, you're still there live, yeah?
Yes, I'm sighing away. Y'all need to wait.
I have 2 masterminders up in Michigan, by the way, who are vibrational grade practitioners. Good. I'm calling in some special help here. So that they can speak with ease, speaking up for themselves, speaking up free of terror, free of fright, free of any hesitation, so it's easy for them to speak up. So anything and everything that doesn't allow for that, I ask to be burned up with the flames of transmutation, including any and all karma as appropriate. Any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas. April, inhale, exhale. While I run this clearing, until you know to stop, tap on your thymus, your higher heart chakra, like about an inch and a half beneath your clavicle. Just tap lightly there, please, repeatedly until you just know to stop. And any of you can do that right now. And you know, imprints from your parents, and imprints from your parents and lineage, and you know, conditioning from the trance of the masses, and you know, contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises across all lifetimes and timelines, and any and all beliefs or judgments or evaluations you have at any level of consciousness that cause you to have fright or terror around speaking, around speaking up, and around speaking up with what you see and know and perceive. We're burning it all up now with the flames of transmutation. Wow, I'm getting shivers. Did you say yeah?
Yes.
I no wonder why I had to go so cautious. Well, there is some trauma lockdown. This is big, April. No wonder why you need so much repetition to get you to move forward. It's a block, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which means on the other side of this, there's tremendous power. That's interesting. I just saw like a black cauldron.
I've been told that I have that tremendous power, but I know it's blocked, so that's
Not
why
with me.
I would
We'll get it,
led
April.
to you.
Yeah, we'll get it. People refer to me as a spiritual finishing school, as well as like, I've been working on this for years. You finally got me free of it, kind of a gig. I'm still clearing it. Yeah, it just released a bit. Did you feel that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that to keep running as appropriate for her highest and best and for the other listeners' highest and best. And I'm going to go ahead and activate the upgrade now. I can't yet. Hold on. That's interesting. You have what looks like a whole new life that wants to emerge. And I'm being shown it's almost like you've been sticking your head in the sand due to this blockage because you haven't wanted to face it. You get so much fright and terror from these traumas. Does that make any sense?
100%. And I am so frustrated and tired of being blocked.
Yeah, it's clearing. I can't remember ever, maybe one time, having started the activation after checking in and then stopping. So there's more clearing happening. Oh, I'm feeling it in my throat now. It's bloody nasty. Felt it in my nostrils too.
Oh, that's so funny. I have had a sinus infection for literally 20 years straight, and I mean literally.
No, I'm not surprised. This would block your sinuses because you don't want to see what you're seeing. It's too much. And part of that's because of the power you have inherently. So you had to block some of it out. Have you been overly reliant on your intellect for much of your life?
I have 18 different degrees.
Mother of God.
On top of being psychic medium and Reiki master and blah, blah, blah.
Wow. That's the most I've ever heard. And I've heard some numbers. You top the list, April.
Yeah.
Okay, so now there seems to be some blackness and dark, just nastiness clearing. Almost like entity level. It's not. But it's good. Can you roll your shoulders back a couple of times? Some of you out there, I can feel you reacting. You might want to take your head and just take your head and do some neck rolls, right? So roll your head gently around, front, then to the side, then to the back, then to the right, then to the front again. And now go the opposite direction, now to the right side, to the back, to the left, to the front, roll it back. And go to the side, which side you choose, it's fine. Some of you may want to flip out your arms, just kind of shake out your hands. The energy wants to distribute that's been locked up at the fifth. Some of you may see your shoulders. You might be coughing. You might be clearing your throats, and you may be seeing your shoulders drop. Some of you may even want to flick out your feet. Some of this is helping some of you ground more in your body now that you don't have to avoid your body because of this trauma. Getting cleared. Oh, thank you. That extra support came in for sure. I'm going to activate the upgrade now. So any and all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and inherent and latent talents within you, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment with your at least fifth dimensional divine blueprint for your highest possibilities and your highest potential to be realized, and for your divine destiny to become physically actualized, activating the upgrade now. Oh. Wow. So right now I'm being shown puddles and skipping like a little girl in the rain, like puddle jumping for playfulness. So the seeming meaning of that is play more and honor the little girl or the little boy in you more as a way to help further integrate what we just did to come out of the seriousness that all of that blockage and those traumas in darkness we're bringing in. Now move your body in a playful kind of way. Do something playful that honors your little girl, April, and that will help break it up even more and help it then therefore be able to integrate and ground it into your embodiment. So it becomes more embodied. Yeah, you got it. Blessings to you, April. Thank you for being such a contribution for everyone on this call. And I hope You're welcome. I don't normally use the word hope, but I look forward to more with you. As I swallow. Uh-oh. All right, lovely. So have a great evening, and you may sleep more. You may need a little extra sleep tonight, April, or you may have more energy and take longer to go to sleep. It differs for everybody after a clearing such as that.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
April, welcome to your new life, and this is one of the things that I want to be able to do with you by having you in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow is when you have such a big clearing like this, your mind is going to want to kind of still run the same program because there's a momentum mentally. The mind-body connection has been cut, but don't think that this didn't work if your mind comes up with some kind of hesitancy towards speaking. We have to have me getting to you to help bring in the mindfulness coaching and reinforce the distance from that old so that you can take new action. But please don't be disappointed if tomorrow you don't start doing a YouTube video. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay. All right, lovely. All right, lovelies. I think now is the time to complete the call. I'm going to go have some dinner and exercise, and much love you all. And how does it get any better than this? What else is possible? Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
You.
Good night. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Hi, Alison. Thank you.
Good night.
Oh, it's my honor. Thanks,
Good
y'all.
night. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You're welcome. Bye.